Hello, Jag Chima here. So this YouTube video is going to be about the Game Changers documentary. This documentary has been blowing up all over the internet. It has broken the internet, as they say, and of course it's one of the most talked about documentaries on the social media networks, Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Game Changers and you'll hear loads of views. Some of the memes, I have to say, are very, very funny, because there's people out there who have never even considered being vegan, and all of a sudden they're like experts on vegan nutrition and vegan diets. There's ebooks, there's vegan transformation plans now, all because of this documentary. So what do I think of this documentary? I think it's great for business, that's number one. But really, what do I think of this documentary? So I've gone a step further before expressing my views to try and find out some facts. And I've been talking to some of my colleagues who are well established in the fitness industry, years of experience, science-backed experience, by the way, and have enlightened me further. So I do go vegan once a year, usually for a month. And the reasons for that is mainly spiritual, but also because it does give my digestive system a rest. It doesn't have to work as hard to break down the foods that I eat. So I do feel good about it. Spiritual, not for religious reasons, just makes me feel good. There's no complicated answer about it. I have to admit, I have considered being vegan indefinitely, and sometimes it's convenience, and that's the truth of it. A lot of countries, a lot of places that I travel to, it's extremely difficult to get good quality foods, and if you're vegan, it's sometimes even more difficult. Recently I had traveled to China, and it seems that Chinese are the least vegan or vegetarian friendly populations around the world. I found it extremely hard to go to places and having good quality vegetarian or vegan choices. Now, don't get me wrong, there are quite a few restaurants out there, but when you're on the road, traditionally there isn't many. I mean, they love seafood over there. Have been to other countries where it's extremely hard, but generally speaking, anywhere around the world, to eat clean, it's extremely difficult. If you're looking at, convenience, if you plan ahead, it's not that hard. But again, here we're talking about the Game Changers, and they specifically focus on vegan. So for me, convenience is important. I am very conscious about the types of foods that I eat, and I do try and eat as clean as possible. This documentary has definitely made me rethink. I'm not going to lie, it has made me rethink. So I'm going to talk about some of the things within the documentary. Now, one thing is for sure, some of the tests that had been demonstrated, the people conducting these tests did make it very clear that there isn't much scientifically backed data. So these are tests that have been conducted without much verification. For example, there was a blood test where there was a couple of test tubes that were shown where after the kind of platelets were separated, there was a cloudy one and there was a clear one. The clear one was clearly from somebody who was having a plant-based diet, and the cloudy one was from somebody who was having a meat-based diet. Now, after talking to one of my very dear friends, he said to me that it's very possible that somebody having a plant-based diet could also have had the cloudy version. How? Why? What if they were having vegan junk food? So this is another thing that nobody highlighted. There are so many vegan junk food options shown, like the burgers, like some of the fried stuff. And when you're out there, I've been to a lot of vegan restaurants where there's unhealthy vegan food. Just because it doesn't contain dairy, doesn't have any meat, it's plant-based, doesn't mean to say that it's always going to be healthy for you. The source of those foods and the way that it's cooked also makes a huge difference. So these are some points that weren't mentioned in the documentary. So before you kind of make a complete 360 and think that everything vegan is healthy for you, rethink that. It's not. And that's a fact. But they did make some great points and some of these points you just cannot ignore. You know, a good source of plant-based protein, a good source of plant-based foods will definitely help you to become healthier. It will definitely reduce the risk of illnesses and diseases such as cancer. You know, they had this study that they were demonstrating with the rats. Yeah, great study. But again, speaking to one of my friends, he said to me that, you know, we don't know the full details of what type of protein they were fed and the comparables. Were they given any fiber? That I was also told about meats that don't have antibiotics. So any meat sources which have been fed antibiotics obviously is going to be feeding cancer. So I would love to see a counter version of this documentary, somebody who comes back and has the other side to this, and the flip side, the views and the scientific facts of people who have meat-based diets and are completely fit and healthy, and actually do a side-by-side comparable to everything that's there. I don't think it's going to be long before we see this. Definitely excited to know more about it, but ultimately, watching some of the people that I have been inspired by since I was a little boy, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's a huge inspiration for me. Talking about being vegan definitely did inspire me to look into this further. Over the last few days, I've been researching, watching other documentaries, and there's some great documentaries out there. If you really want to go into further details, there's a lot of great stuff out there. But on the surface, would I become vegan? Yes, I would. Would I become vegan solely from the information that I saw on this documentary? No. I would probably do it more for spiritual reasons because it makes me feel good. But also if I was prepared to be more prepared, plan ahead with my foods and find more ways of preparing my meals way in advance, I would probably consider it. For example, at the moment I'm traveling, I'm in India right now, I'm in Hyderabad, and I am carrying with me a vegan based protein. I've had intolerance tests done for myself, and I am actually intolerant to dairy products. I still have dairy every now and then, but I am intolerant to dairy. Therefore, whenever I have any protein, I normally have vegan based protein. So if I was to have a typical vegan meal right now, I would more than likely go for a good salad and then top it up by having a vegan protein shake. That would be the convenient way for me to have a meal. So I'm also trying to be as close as possible to ketosis right now, keto-based diets. So that's what I would do. But in the long term, of course, I would explore more options for vegan-based foods and meals, and definitely consider it for the future. So yes, this documentary was great. I think it landed at the right time. It definitely is going to spark a lot of interest from people who want to improve their health, and that's the name of the game. So the biggest takeaway here is that, you know, because it's breaking the internet all over the world, people are going to be more conscious about their health. Let's face it, who wouldn't want to live longer? Who wouldn't want their parents to live longer? The subject who had actually created the documentary, he was demonstrating that his father is much fitter and healthier now. Great. I think good on you. Well done. If I had knowledge like this just over 10 years ago, I would have had my mum on this. So who knows, maybe she would still be with us. So I would never dismiss anything, and I would never have the know-it-all attitude. So I'm always open to learning, and so should you. So before you form an opinion, go out and do some research. Try it yourself. There's no harm. The message that you got from this isn't a bad message. So yeah, let's see what the flip side of this is going to be. Let's see who comes back with another documentary to counter what we've seen on this, and we can all base our decisions on that. But I'm very keen to hear your opinion on this. Whether you're from India, whether you're from the UK, Canada, America, China, anywhere in the world, and you're watching this, please do give me some feedback on your opinion on this documentary, on vegans, vegan-based diets, and if you eat meat and are very keen to and are not going to change your ways, why? Why would you continue if you know it's bad for you, if you think it's bad for you? So really keen to keep this discussion going. And I'm even keen to maybe do a collaboration YouTube video with somebody who would like to come on this channel and talk about it. So come back to me, comment below, send me a message, follow me on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, and you can DM me there too. So until next time, stay safe and I'll see you soon.